On the road to Akasaka near Tokyo, there is a hill called Kii-No-Kuni-Zaka, or Hill of Kii Province. It is bordered on the side by an ancient moat, very deep and wide, with greenish walls due to the moat that rises to some gardens. On the other side of the road, there are long and huge walls of an imperial palace. When there was no public lighting, that place was deserted at night. Delayed walkers prefer to make a long detour of several kilometers rather than venturing up this hill after sunset. At that time, an old merchant from the Kyobashi neighborhood was rushing to go through this area when he was surprised by the night. On his way, he met a woman crouched near the pit. She was alone and cried bitterly. The merchant feared she would take her life and stopped to try to help her. He saw that the girl was funny-looking and petite and was elegantly dressed. Her hair was combed like that of a young woman from a good family. "Distinguished miss," he told her, "don't cry like that. Tell me your sorrows. I will be happy to help you." He was a good man and spoke sincerely. But the girl kept crying, with her head hidden between the wide sleeves of her dress. "I beg you, it is no place for a lady to be alone at this time of night. Don't cry anymore and tell me the cause of your grief." The young woman got up slowly. She groaned and cried on her back, her face hidden. The old merchant put a hand on her shoulder and begged for the third time. "Listen to me for a moment." The lady turned around abruptly, dropped the sleeve of her dress, and stroked her face with her hand. She had no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Her face was completely blank. The man screamed in fright and ran away. He ran to the edge of the hill, dark and deserted, not daring to look back. Finally, he saw a flashlight in the distance. It was a soba street vendor who had put his stall on the side of the road. The old man came to him and fell at his feet, whimpering. The merchant asked, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" The old man, breathless, was unable to explain himself, and the other insisted. "Have you run into a thief?" "No," he finally replied. "But near the pit, I saw a woman who... her face was... I can't describe it." To which the seller replied, "Was it something like this?" He stroked his face and suddenly all his facial features disappeared. At that moment, the lantern light went out. That old man had run into a yokai called Noppera-bō. It is a faceless ghost that adopts human form, usually a beautiful woman. At first, it appears as a normal person, sometimes even a relative or acquaintance. But suddenly, it makes its features disappear, leaving a blank face there. Its purpose is to scare people and for their victims to flee in terror. But fortunately, they don't go farther than that, and regardless of their frightening appearance, they are harmless. In general, they are considered kind beings, and even some legends say that they have helped walkers attacked by bandits, or guided lost travelers back to their destination. They frequent the Kyoto, Osaka, and Kagawa prefectures. Another of the most popular testimonies talk about a lazy fisherman who lived in a peaceful cabin with his wife. He decided to go fishing at the nearby imperial koi ponds, next to Heiankyo's palace. His wife, knowing that it was a sacred place, which was also next to a cemetery, tried to stop him, but he didn't listen to her. Upon arriving there, he met a beautiful young woman who also begged him not to fish in the place. Faced with the man's refusal, she ran her hand over her face, making her features disappear. The fisherman, terrified by the vision, ran away and didn't stop until he returned home. After catching his breath, he told what happened to his wife. She scolded him seriously, stood in front of him, and suddenly made her face disappear, leaving it empty too. The petrified man realized that he was married to a Noppera-bō. In the past, disappearances only happened in Japanese lands, but today they have also become popular in areas with a lot of Japanese immigration, such as Hawaii, the American islands in the middle of the Pacific. On May 19, 1959, the journalist of a local newspaper heard the chilling testimony of a woman who had gone to an open-air cinema at night in Kahala, Honolulu. Halfway through the movie, she went to the toilet, and when she looked in the mirror, she saw a long-haired woman standing behind her out of the blue. She saw, horrified, that she had no face and no legs, only the upper half of the body. When she turned around, no one was there. But the door slammed with a great rumble, leaving her locked in the toilet, and she ended up fainting. The appearance of this spectrum was attributed to the fact that the cinema was next to a cemetery, but the manager denied everything. Years later, in 1981, an anonymous call was received during a ghost program on local radio that described a very similar encounter, although in this case the woman had bright red hair. There are more and more sightings around the world, especially in public toilets of cinemas, restaurants, or shopping centers. It isn't very well known why these places attract the Noppera-bō so much. But if you have to go to one at night, it may be a good idea not to go alone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!